What's good, Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back at again with a brand new video, and I'm gonna keep it a Bowberry biscuit. I need some answers. I need someone with some kind of connection with the Panthers to give me the phone number of the person I need to call, and I bet not get put on hold. I bet not hear no kind of smooth jazz when I dial this number, because I need to speak with someone. Because what happened on Sunday is unacceptable. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there was a report that came out about the Panthers and their play calling on defense being out of sync. Apparently, Matt Rhule, after the game, said that I think there may have been 10 to 12 times where we called the play in and it wasn't the defense re-ran. We settled down at halftime and found a way to correct that. But some of those kinds of things that you don't want to have happen, it's not okay that it happened, but they did happen, and I thought we grew as the game went on. That was a little bit unclear, but what happened was, in the first half of the game between the Panthers and the Raiders, 10 to 12 plays, the defense did not run the play that got called in from the sideline. And there were exactly 33 plays ran on offense by the Raiders. So that means roughly about a third of the plays on defense were the incorrect plays. Guys were not in the right coverages. Guys may not have been blitzing or may not have been, covering the right holes in the front seven. And the Raiders scored 17 points. And there's a little bit of trivia for y'all out there. There were 17 points scored in the first half, 17 points scored in the second half. And they ran 33 plays in both the first and the second half. The Raiders played a perfectly symmetrical game. That's interesting, but irrelevant right now. Let's move on from that. How does a team have the riches of the 32 owners in the National Football League, and we're having troubles with a Walkie Talkie system? If y'all don't know what happens in an NFL game, and I think even in college at some point, they have cars in college, but in the NFL level, they have a radio system where the coaches call in plays to a captain on one side of the ball, and they have a radio system in their helmet. They hear the play, and they tell everyone else what the play is. And apparently for 1/3 of the plays on defense, we were not getting that. It wasn't coming through, and I guess we just called random plays. I wish I knew who had the mic in their, the speaker in their helmet. I didn't look at the sticker. I don't really know who would have had it. I couldn't even guess. I'm assuming it's Shaq Thompson. My best guess is that Shaq Thompson is the one with the radio in his helmet. So I have to also assume that once it became clear to him on those 10 to 12 plays where he wasn't getting the right play call and he couldn't hear it or whatever, he was the one calling the plays for the defense. And I want to know which plays those were. I really do wish I could look back and identify those plays and see what kind of results we got out of those plays where we couldn't hear the defensive play. Were they good plays for the offense? Did we make stops in those plays? What did whoever was calling those plays on the field, what kind of reaction and what kind of response, what kind of football IQ did they show in response to that very inconvenient situation? I really want to know all the details, but obviously we will not know those details. But this is a problem, right? This is basically a walkie-talkie system. How do we not have enough money to make sure this is not an issue? It's week 1 of the NFL season, and look, I kind of remember there being an issue, or there was some kind of report of this happening last year with Ron Rivera, but I'm not going to lie to you. When Ron Rivera, and I respect him as a person, but when Ron Rivera goes up to that podium in post-game pressers, I just do not believe a single word he be talking about. I've seen the man tell so many lies up there that it's really hard for me to actually say, well, this is the truth or that's not the truth. It's really hard to really gauge what Ron be saying in those post-game pressers. I don't know. I gotta take it with a grain of salt. But with Rev Rhule here, I'm going to assume and give him the benefit of the doubt that he's telling the truth here. This is a problem. Now, maybe this is a system that's not, overseen by David Tepper. Maybe it's the NFL that runs all the radio systems and they put it in place so you can't tamper or whatever with the radios and the walkie-talkies and that kind of stuff. That could be the case. But this is a problem. And was this only an issue with the defensive side of the ball? Was this only an issue with one helmet? Or was it an issue with the whole radio system? Was the offense also not getting the right plays called in? This would have been a good time to just go ahead and lie and say, hey, that play call to Alex Armour, I guess Teddy heard the wrong play. We ain't really called a play in like that. It wasn't that. He must have misheard what we said. We said get the ball to Christian McCaffrey. We said get the ball to any one of these other 4 or 5 guys on the field who can get the ball handed to them or thrown to them. We ain't say Alex Armour. They could have really backpedaled and said a little something like that. But if it was only an issue with the helmet for the defensive captain, then That's just weird to me. That's probably maybe more understandable than a whole system-wide failure with offense and defense, but you got to get that figured out. That's probably not an issue with the NFL on their side. That's probably an issue on the Panthers side. We cannot have these issues. But even still, I'm not going to say that those play calls were the reason we lost this game, because we had a very clear chance to win this game. I don't want to say very, very easily, but we had two great back-to-back drives on offense, some pretty big mistakes on defense, and there were ways for us to win this game that weren't completely on defensive play calls just in the first half. In fact, I would say that even though getting 17 points scored on your head in the first half isn't good, despite having those bad play calls, or those, I guess, on the field play calls from the players, we looked like we were in pretty good shape to take this game in our own hands. And there were different things that happened in the second half that I think were bigger factors. It is what it is, but I'm going to assume that Dave and Rhule get this figured out and get this fixed before this Bucs game on Sunday, because we got to beat Tom. Tom does not look good. Hey, Tom was looking like Kyle Allen out there. So if we can get these plays in and we get the plays called right, hey, we can really make some magic happen, you feel me? But that's all I got for you for right now, man. Let me know all your thoughts on this. Was this a big issue? Was it not an issue? Does this sound like an excuse? Does this even matter to you at all in the grand scheme of the game? Seeing how the game ended, those last 2, maybe 3 drives. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And you already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.